Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful, blessed people of God. What is going on? Happy Monday to each and every one of you. It is your girl Shaniqua Inspires, if I didn't say that in all of my excitement. But I am delighted to be with you all on this cloudy, rainy, messy Monday here in New York City. But regardless of what the weather is doing outside, listen. This joy that's down in my heart, the world or the weather cannot take it away. So I bid you all greetings. Pray that you all are blessed and feeling highly favored by the Lord on today. And if you don't, baby, you need a reset. You need to get yourself all the way together because, regardless of our circumstances, regardless of the environment, the weather, the situations, the situationships, God is still in control. And if you fast forward to the word that says, all things work together for our good, then you need to prop your feet up. You need to fold your hands and you need to get in position to receive your good. But if you give up, if you fade out, if you give in, if you fold them, you're going to miss out on the good that is coming your way. Good morning, Leslie. Happy Monday to you. Blessings to you and yours. I am delighted to be here to get this day started because your girl has literally been up since 2:40 this morning. Yeah, 2:40 this morning, and I've been looking for something to do. I've been waiting on y'all. I've been waiting on y'all. I have been waiting on y'all. So since 2:40 this morning, I have been up. For some reason, I thought I was going to bed at 7 p.m. last night. And at 7 p.m., I was tapping out. I was like, listen, I don't have any more left for this day. And I got in my bed and I was ready to go to sleep. But I got apparently Chef Boyardee here in my house. And I woke up to the smell of him cooking at around about 9:45. So I was up. I was like, let me find out. I took a nap at 7 p.m. Crazy. Yeah, it's way too early. My sleep schedule just has not gotten back into control from when I was in the Philippines. Good morning to you. So we've got people joining in from YouTube. Good morning to everyone on YouTube. Good morning to everybody on my Facebook page. Blessings to each and every one of you. So I have yet to get my sleep schedule back in order since my return from the Philippines. I said to myself today, I said, well, you might as well go back. You might as well go back to the Philippines and chill out for a while since my body was working just fine. My sleep schedule was just fine while I was out there. Good morning, Carol. Blessings to you, love. So I was doing just fine. I was up, I was productive, I was getting ample amount of rest when I was in the Philippines. And now I get back home and my body just don't know what time of day it is. It don't know when it's supposed to sleep, when it's supposed to wake. Yeah, so I just don't know what to do. Went down. My trip was fabulous. It was absolutely fabulous. I enjoyed everything about being in another country. It was just beautiful to see. And I was telling someone that there were some areas where it appeared as what we would describe it as poverty. However, so is New York City. Boom. Right. So I can walk down the street. And when I was out doing my morning walk and talks, back, in the spring, the summer, the fall, when I was outside walking, I literally was walking in different environments. And I would start out by the houses and the parks and the water, and it was beautiful. And you keep walking, you can end up in what we call the projects, where you've got the big buildings, you've got kind of a lower, and not always, but in our definition of it, it's like a lower income level, but it's a mixture, right? So the neighborhood I live in it's a mixture. You get a little bit of everything, and other countries are the same way. When I went to South Africa, in Johannesburg, we were in one of the richest providences in South Africa, in Johannesburg, which was, I think it's called Sandaltown or something similar like into that. But I mean, they had luxury penthouses. That's where the Nelson Mandela Mall is. And it's like one of the hugest malls I've ever laid eyes on. We did end up going to the Mall of Asia, and that was a big mall. That mall had a south side. It had a south, it had a west, a north, and an east side. We only made it to the south side, and I think we were tired out. But if we had gotten an earlier start, we might have been able to spend the entire day at the Mall of Asia. And it was an experience. Needless to say, it was definitely an experience. So that's one of the reasons why I do love traveling all over the place, because you get an opportunity to see. You always think where you're at is the best place, but it's not until you go and you visit somewhere else. And so luckily, when I was in the Philippines, I got a very diverse mix. So we were driving down streets that were only big enough for the car that it was driving, but yet it was supposed to be a 2-lane pathway. But then we also passed through areas where the greenery was marvelous, the views, the mountains, the water. And there were still places that I didn't even get a chance to see. So my assistant, my main man was saying, he was like, you got to come back, and you got to come back, and you got to spend more time. So I'm definitely putting it in my thought processes. I'm also putting it on my prayer list, and I'm believing by faith that I will get back out there, because I do want to see the earth. I want to see, the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. I want to see that fullness thereof. So I'm looking forward to going back, but I might as well be back there, considering my sleep has yet to get on track. My sleep has not yet caught up with my New Yorker in me, but I caught myself laying down to go to bed at 7 p.m. yesterday, because I was up at 4 o'clock yesterday morning. So from 4 o'clock yesterday morning, and then I want to say around 1, I took like an hour nap and was in a daze hours thereafter. And then at 7 p.m., I was like, all right, we're tapping out. And because of Chef Boyardee, I was up at 9:45, and I think I went back to sleep. What time, I don't know, but I got up, I had some rice cakes. No matter of fact, I had some cookies. Yep, I ate some Oreos, because I just couldn't fathom why I was up. And so I was like, girl, eat the Oreos. And then I had some rice cakes. I probably took maybe about an hour nap, and then was right back up. And I thought at 2:40, I thought it was 6 a.m. I thought I was seeing the light coming in from the sun, and it was the TV light that was shining on me. And so, yeah, 2:40 this morning, your girl was up. So I've been waiting on you all to get here so that I can chit chat with you all for just a bit. Although it is a rainy day here in New York City, today is a phenomenal day, and I've got lots of stuff on my agenda, and I'm actually looking forward to it. So I'm not going to be on this line very long, because I do have a 9:30 meeting that I need to be front and center for. So but I did have something that I wanted to share with you all. One, I wanted to get some empathy from you all, because your girl is just not sleeping. So I just needed some empathy. I needed some empathy in that area. But other than that, God is good. He is still blessing. He's still on the throne. And I just had such a wondrous weekend. And I have to say that I give honor to God for the connections. And in fact, on my Facebook statuses, the Lord had me, I mean, the Lord was speaking to me real good. Let me see. Okay, so my note that I put up disappeared, but the Lord was speaking to me real good, and he was giving me some insight on he was giving me some insight on what it was that he had me saying. So when I got up this morning, yesterday morning, at 4 o'clock in the morning, of course, I wanted to pray, and I could hear the Lord speaking to me and sharing some things with me. And I just remained in prayer. That's what I was doing, getting on Facebook, because I wanted to read to you guys what it was, some of the statuses that I was putting up yesterday. So the Lord had me putting up a status on, like, just praying for people. So so first, the first one was, I prayed for those who were in a new space. So that just dropped into my spirit, and I just started praying for those, my sister friends in particular, and not to leave the brothers out, but the basis of who I speak to on a regular basis when I'm on my Facebook, when I'm on YouTube. So we're blessed to have a man on the line this morning, but under normal circumstances, it's all women. So I really was speaking to women, and I was praying for my sister friends who find themselves in a new space in this season in their lives. And the space is different from the space before, right? So that can mean a lot of things. A lot of people might even X themselves out of that prayer, because they're like, well, there's nothing new going on. Yeah, you could have something new going on. You could be in not only a new relationship, you could be starting a new job, you could be looking for a new job, you could be contemplating going back to school, you can be getting up at a new time. Like, this early morning thing is new to me. This is not my realm. I've heard some of my other sister friends who talk about the Lord waking them up at 3 in the morning and 4 in the morning. Pastor Marshall was telling us the other day on the Black Girl Pray Her series. She was saying how she missed a visitation with the Lord because she slept past the hour that she normally gets up, around 3 or 4 o'clock. And I was like, well, Lord, that ain't my testimony. Like, when you talk to me, you talk to me at 8, you talk to me at 9. I don't be up in the wee hours. But ever since my trip to the Philippines, and the Lord was waking me up early when I was in the Philippines as well. Like, I did a 4 a.m. I was up at 6 a.m. most mornings. It wasn't until the latter portion of my stay that I was getting up at like 8:30. Like, the people who were delivering my food were waking me up, and I was like, oh snap, you didn't even get up to get your food, girl. Like, get up and get your food. But yeah, so I just been in this new place where I'm up in the wee hours. And thanks be unto God, I'm not moaning and groaning about it. And see, this is part of the problem. A lot of the times when we go through new stuff, we pray for new stuff, but because it doesn't manifest in the way in which we thought it was going to manifest, we start moaning and groaning about it. So maybe God is answering a prayer. Matter of fact, he is. When I asked him that I'm ready, and I told God I'm ready to go to the next level. Okay, well, next level is going to require you maybe some different times. I believe it was Miles Monroe that says that the Lord speaks between the hours of 3 and 5. And so if you're up between the hours of 3 and 5, you need to tune your ear to God. You shouldn't tune your ear into Facebook. You shouldn't tune your ear into the TV and looking for something aimless to do. You should be tuning your ear to God and say, okay, Lord, you got me up at this time, at this hour. What is it that you would like to say to me? What is it that you would like me to, and as Carol put it, what would you like me to reflect on? What would you like me to meditate on? What would you like me to put into my thought processes for the day. And so yesterday, when I was up at 4 in the morning, that was just kind of the back and forth conversation that I was having with God. Yes, Scooby Doo was on the TV, so I was kind of peeking on Scooby Doo and seeing what him and the crew was doing. But I was also listening to God and praying for the new spaces. Is what was the first thing that was in my spirit. And after I posted that up about the new spaces, I just got a message from the Lord that said help was on the way. And I don't know about you all, but that's good news for somebody who's in a new season. Think about somebody who's a new employee and you're starting a new job, and you don't know the ropes. You don't even know where the best place to park at. I remember the last corporate job that I had, when I started there, people would give me the tips on where was the best parking space, what was the best place to, run to and grab some lunch, which was the best elevator to use, where was the cleanest bathroom to use. So they would put me up on the 411 in the building. And so as a orientation specialist, I used to train the people who were coming in. So where it is I had my stint in being new, now I am ushering in, I am welcoming in those new people. And I would give them the 411 just as it was told to me. So I was telling them where the best parking spaces were and what time was the best time to get out of the parking space. Because if not, you might as well just sit at your desk for another hour. So I was giving them the scoop. And so it's a beautiful thing when you are in a new season, but you don't have to worry because someone is there to show you the ropes. Someone is there to be your preceptor. Someone is there to be your guide. Someone's there to look out for you and to give you the heads up. So I thank God. So as I was praying for people earlier in the day about their new spaces, and I hope that prayer was for you. I hope that you are going into a new space, because you know what? This is evolution season, baby. We cannot stay the same, and we've got to be able to evolve in order to elevate. Right? There's some type of growth and development that needs to take place in our hearts and in our minds in order for us to get to that next level. So if you prayed that prayer like I prayed that prayer to say, Lord, take me to the next level, well, it's going to require some new stuff. Might require some new people, might require some new routines, might require some new regimens. Like it's going to require some switch ups. It's going to require some switch ups. But I thank God for sending the help. I thank him for sending the help. I thank him for surrounding not only myself, and we started when I got back from the Philippines. That was my she's back message, where I was talking about being in position, right, to get in position. But then on the next day we flipped that up. So I gave you practical examples of how I was in position to help the lady not once but twice on the plane. But then the Lord also showed me how I was in position to be able to be the beneficiary of such help. So it's great that you can be a servant. Good morning, Joyanne. Blessings to you. Not only can you be in position to be of service to somebody else, but guess what? It's blessing season. It's the reaping and the sowing. So when you sow seeds of servitude, you're going to reap that as well. So just as well as you getting up and getting yourself ready and being in position to be a servant to somebody else, God is positioning other people to be in line to help you. And they may not even know. They may not even know that they're in line. All they know is they getting in position. But it's like a each one teach one. I get in position so you can get in position. The next person can get in position. And our lives are uniquely connected. And you might think, hey, I ain't got nothing to do with that person over there. But our lives, our ministries, our purposes are uniquely connected with others. So you might be able to wait. You may be able to procrastinate. You may be able to cock your feet up and say, I'm going to get to it later. But somebody else is dependent on it. So for those of you who are pressing your way forward to work, and especially if you're here in New York City where it's rainy out, some parts upstate New York where got snow, they have a snow day. So there might be some people waiting for you to press your way forward. But if you say, no, it's messy outside, I'm not going today, let somebody else do it, you might miss the position. So the warning came forth yesterday that we don't want to, not yesterday, the past week, was that we don't want to miss the position. And the position is not only to serve, but the position is also to receive. And I was just thankful to God for my sister friends that He has around me, and even and He just kind of moves them. He moves them around like on a chessboard. There's some moments in time where I'm really really close, and we're talking every day or messaging every day with certain people, and then it just kind of shifts, and then it moves over to the next person, and then I'm sitting with them, and every day they're in my circle of influence, so to speak. And so it just shifts around. They don't go anywhere. Like, my people are still my people, but it just shifts around. And so everybody gets a turn. Everybody gets a turn to be blessed by Shaniqua. Everybody gets a turn to be a blessing to Shaniqua. And if you're around people who you're the one that's pouring out, pouring out, pouring out, you may not be in the right position, right? Because if you should be also a recipient of some type of pouring, whether it's from the people you're serving or for somebody else, right? So we always want to make certain that we are in position. Yes, Carol, make sure you're bundled up, which I know you are, and hopefully the umbrella is doing some good out there on this rainy day. But you have to press forward, because there are people who are waiting for you, because your purpose is uniquely connected to their destiny. How else can we be destiny helpers if we ain't out here helping nobody, if we're not pressing forward? And so on yesterday, being up early in the morning, one of my sister friends was up early in the morning as well, and we just so happened to cross paths. And she sent me, I had sent her something, she sent me something, and I was able to watch a church service yesterday, and it was exactly what I needed. And part of me wanted to be like, wow, how did you know? But I know when you're operating strategically by God, and we were talking last week about enhancing our response times, right? When God tells us something and He says, reach out to this person, we put it on our to-do list. You ain't got time to put it on your to-do list. God put them on your heart in this instance. You should be turning from whatever it is that you're doing, and you should be reaching out to them. So God says, pray for your sister or brother. You don't wait till the nighttime and say, okay, I'm gonna put it on my prayer list. When I get into my prayer closet, I'll pray. No, if the unction came right now, you should be lifting them up in prayer right now. What if what they're going through, what they're about to face, can't wait until you get to your prayer closet? What if it can't wait until you get home and get in your bed and ready to snuggle up for the night? What if it can't wait? So we got to get to a point where our response time is on point, so we're not missing the strategic position that God has ordained for this moment. Right. So, my sister friend sent me the church service, and I'm telling you, when I tell you, it lined up exactly what the Lord and I have been talking about. It lined up exactly with what He was talking to me and what I had been doing since 4 a.m. It aligned up so perfectly. And she had sent me something else. It's like it just kept going. It just kept going. And she was literally feeding me. I don't know if she knows she was feeding me, but she was feeding me, and she was helping me to grow spiritually and to hear God more. And so she sent me this one thing that was the catalyst to what it is that I said that I wanted to make certain that I talked to you all about. So we kind of did a recap from where we were on yesterday. So we did yes. Why do I keep saying yesterday? Could maybe because I was supposed to be with y'all yesterday. Shh. I was supposed to be with y'all yesterday, but I put it off. I was gonna come on a live and do a live yesterday, but I put it off. I did. So here, so I'm scolding myself on my response time, right? You're making it until it's convenient. Somebody, and I pray for forgiveness on that, because somebody might have needed the word that the Lord had in my belly, and I put it off. And the reason I put it off was because my sleep schedule is off. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be napping. I don't know this, that, and the other. So we definitely, myself included, we got to get our response times in order. But what I am particularly wanted to talk to you all about this morning, and especially as it pertains to the getting in position, we grow accustomed to believing that everything is working together when it's all good. So if you have to go to work today and it's raining outside, but as soon as you leave out your door, it slows down raining, right? So you didn't get caught in the rain. And as soon as you get to the bus station, as soon as you get to the train stop, your train comes instantaneously, like there's no wait time. And if you're a New Yorker, you understand the goodness and the mercies that are following you. So you get on the train right away. You get a seat on the train. It's 8:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and you got a seat on the train. The blessings of the Lord is upon you, right? And so the train actually is going quicker than normal, and you make it to your destination early, and now you got time to use your employee discount at that shop and get you some breakfast, so everything seems to be working out for your good. So you will declare and decree that the favor of the Lord is upon you. You are blessed and highly favored. His goodness is chasing you, is following you all the days of your life. So you like a walking testimony. So you thanking God every step of the way that you caught your train, you got to work on time, you got your breakfast. All things are working together for your good, right? We know that's the way the story plays out. So you're thinking everything is going good. But as it pertains to you getting in position, I don't want you to help me, Holy Spirit. I don't want you to misinterpret that you are in the right position based off of the things that are happening. Okay. So because you caught your train on time, because you got a seat on the train, because you got to work early, because you got breakfast, and you had time to sit and have your breakfast, have your tea, have your coffee without any interruptions. Just because all of those things are working out in a favorable manner doesn't dictate whether or not you're in the right or the wrong position. Because I don't know about you, when I was deep in sin, everything was working together, in that sequence. Like all things were good. You made it to the club on time. So and so bought you an extra drink, right? So when you're knee deep in sin, I mean, everything is working out pretty darn good as well. So I don't want you to dictate that you're in the right position or if you're in the wrong position based off of what is going on. And I say that because of, what did I read? It was called Danger in the Manger. Okay. And what it did was it brought to my remembrance about when Mary and Joseph, when Mary was about to give birth to Jesus Christ, our Savior. There was no room in the inn. They had to go from location to location to location, from hotel to hotel to hotel, from the bed and breakfasts to the Airbnbs. They were going around to all of the different locations, and there was no room in the inn, INN, right? There was no room, but there was a manger, which is like a barn. So our Savior had to be born in a barn. Now, I don't know if folks is disputing as to whether or not he is who he says he is because of where he was born. So, like I said, don't let your position make you, don't let the circumstantial things that are going on around you make you think you're in the wrong position. Just because you missed the train, just because the trains were delayed, just because you had to stand up all the way and you was already tired and your back was already aching, and because it's raining, your knees and your joints is aching and oohing and ahhing and such. Just because all of those things are factoring to appear as though they're working against you doesn't mean that where you're going is not the right position. Because that's what we would think. We would say, well, if all of these things are fighting against me, this may be the wrong position. No, it might just as well be the right position. And everything hell and all of the imps in the underworld are trying to get you to not do it. Right? It's trying to convince you not to do it. So that could be what all of the interferences are. So if you are going into this new season, but everything is not hunky dory, everything is not all peaches and cream and sunshine and roses, and everything is not a walk in the park, and you got to struggle for this and you got to fight for this. Yeah, look, I'm the queen of wanting the sweatless victories, but I'm also wise enough to know that some things you do have to put a little elbow grease into. You have to put a little effort into. You got to put a little fight in it. It's not going to be just given to you just because. You got to go into the enemy's camp and you got to take what belongs to you. Right? So not everything is going to work out for your good. And when I was reading this post about danger in the manger, it wasn't talking about where Jesus was born was the danger to him. It was the danger to the pits of hell. So what it is that you're working on, where it is you are going in this new position, in this new season, even if it feels as though you're up against opposition, if you heard God say that is where you're supposed to be, then you need to stand your ground. And I can put myself up as the poster child of the bucking and running. Let me be on a job. Let me be on a job. I will declare and decree that this is a good job, that I'm happy on this job. This is where I plan on staying, because in fact, my last corporate job, I said that that's where I was going to stay. I heard the Lord said, this is your last job. And I said, well, hallelujah. But I thought this is where I was going to retire. I was like, your girl finally going to get a pension. I'm going to retire from this place. But as soon as the enemy started to use the people who I had grown bonded to, the people who I had was in close quarters with, in close connections with, and the enemy started to use them, I was ready to buck and run. All right, this is where I get off. I'm pressing the bell. Ding, 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 ding. This is my stop right here. This is where I'm getting off. You all can have it. And you know what? I could have delayed my growth and development because I was ready to buck and run, because I was ready to quit. I was ready to say, y'all could keep this job, or you could take this job and shove it, whatever. What if God was saying, no, I need you there for a reason. I need you in this position. But because your coworkers start getting a little snippy and a little snide, and you think these people are talking about you, and you coming up with all this other stuff, whether it's true or not, you want to run and hide because things are not sunshine and roses anymore. You want to run and hide. But I came this morning to just remind you Check your hearing. Because if you know you heard God, like you got to know what that you know that you know. You need your knowing radar to be on point. And once you know that God called you there, that He strategically is working through something in you, and your feet have to be in position there, then you need to stand your ground. So even if where you are positioned currently is likened to a major, it is not the Ritz Carltons, it's not the W, it's not the Hilton, it's not anything luxury. It's not a 5-star, it's not a 4-star, it ain't no diamonds, it ain't even a 2-star. You in a major where there's barnyard animals, there's dirt, there's hay. Like you wouldn't choose this if you had the opportunity. So you would literally think that, nah, this ain't what God has called me to do. But it's exactly what God can call you to do. I'm not saying all the time, but I am saying that it can still be the place. So what I'm saying to you all this morning is, don't let what's going on in your environment dictate whether or not you are in the position God has called you to be in. Because it just might be. And think of it like this. What if Jesus had been born in a hotel, in the inn? What if there was room at the inn? What if Mary and Joseph was able to get in? What kind of testimony, what kind of example does it give us? But the fact that Jesus was born in a manger says it says you can be birthed in any situation. You can have the next president of the United States born to in an abusive household, right? To a drug addict, to someone below the poverty line. You could have the next CEO of the next industry that is going to shape the country, it's going to shape the world. So don't let circumstantial situations dictate whether or not your feet are on the right path. Tune your ears to God so that you know that you heard what you heard. And because the enemy is going to make you doubt. The enemy is going to say, see, you shouldn't have did that. See, you shouldn't have put your foot there. Not see where you at. No, use a lie. You was a lie yesterday. You was a lie today. And guess what? Chances are you still going to be lying tomorrow. So we have to learn how to distinguish between the voice of God and the voice of the enemy. And chances are the voice of God was that first voice you heard, and the voice of the enemy is the one that's going to come up right after. I mean, like right afterwards. That's going to talk you out of the first thing. Right afterwards. Oh, you shouldn't have did that. Oh, you ain't got no money for that. How you giving out hot packs when you spend all this money on them? And what if you need it? But if God says give it, I only needed it so that I could be a blessing to somebody else. So think about your own situation. look, Joyanne, I might be, right? I might be. And I might be talking to everybody else. I might even be talking to myself, right? Because that's what I was getting ready to say. Like, think about your situation. Think about what's going on currently in your life. I had an opportunity that was going to be a blessing for me financially. It was going to be a blessing for me financially. And I was like, yeah, we need that because it's long overdue. We need that. We need that. And I got excited about it. At first, I wasn't excited about it, but then I allowed myself to get excited about it. And I was right to get myself excited about it. And just like that, a decision had to be made, and I had to walk away from it. I had to walk away from it. Now, does it mean that, that's not what God wanted me to want in that time? Yeah, God might have just been waiting for me to get in on board. But what if this was like the ram in the bush? And I was looking that up yesterday. I was looking up the ram in the bush, and I was like, Abraham brings his son Isaac to the chopping block. And I just started looking up. I said, well, did he have any more sons? And he did have another son. It wasn't with this, the baby mama, but he had another son. So I was like, what was the significance of him, putting Isaac up on the chopping block? And it was literally about trusting God. It had nothing to do about, oh, I want to, take out my son. No, it wasn't that. It was about the level of trust. So sometimes we can have an opportunity that we're a little hesitant with, oh, should I take this job? Should I not take this job? Should I go back to school? Should I not go back to school? And then finally you get into agreement. You say, okay, we're going to go forward. This is from the Lord. We're going to go forward. We're going to press all gas. And then all of a sudden they missing your paperwork. All of a sudden, oh, they got to push back your start date. And you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I thought this is where I was supposed to go. God may just want to see if you would be willing to get in the position. If that's where he needs you, if he needs you to go back to school, if God needs you in a new place of employment, if God needs you in a are you going? Is your trust totally in God? If God says, no, I'm taking you, to another country, and no, you ain't gonna stay in the 5-star hotel. You're not staying in no diamond. You ain't earning no points for where you going. Will you still go? Will you visit a foreign land if you had to? And I took a picture of it right outside of my the resort, the hotel that I was staying in. There was this place, and it was called O Ramen, and I took a picture of it because my son is like, my oldest loves ramen. And I just laughed at it. I was like, oh, I gotta take a picture of this storefront. But it had all of these bags and such in front of it, and it looked very desolate. And one of the things about the Philippines, like, you see a lot of stray dogs. There was a lot of stray dogs in this area, and they were looking anorexic, like they were just looking for food and things as such. And so I'm standing in, the doorway of my hotel, and I'm looking across the street at this. And many people will be like, oh no, I wouldn't want to stay in no place like that. Well, I mean, that was just what was in front of me. But when I looked down the block, it was nice. And when I looked down the other side of the block, it was nice. And where I was standing was beautiful. It wasn't a Hilton, but it was nice just the same. It was clean. It was calm. There was no commotion. I got free breakfast. Like, so it was good. Like, it didn't have no pool or anything like that. But I mean, well, I wasn't looking for no pool. I wasn't looking for no gym either, right? I wasn't even gonna fool myself into thinking that I was looking for those amenities. But guess what? I was safe. And anywhere I went, there was a driver that picked me up. The driver would even come into the hotel and have them ring my bell, say, I'm here. So I was safe. I was comfortable. I drove around in air conditioning. It was safe. So it's like, if the Lord says your destiny is a major, are you going in the major? Are you so caught up on the fabulous life and what you've grown accustomed to and what the season before was like that you would turn your nose up against it? What if Mary and Joseph was like, nah, we ain't giving birth in no manger? What if they had said, no, that ain't what we gonna do? So don't let the circumstances, the circumstances don't dictate the gift. The circumstances don't dictate the character. The circumstances don't dictate the power of the purpose. So I say that to you all on today because just maybe in this new season, God is going to use something different to birth something out of you. When I was going through my divorce, that was probably one of the hardest things that I've had to go through, but it birthed something different. And honestly, I could admit, my childhood, my upbringing, everything was pretty good. I grew up with two parents in the home. Yes, we lived in the projects, but we did all right. We didn't know we were poor. We seemed anything we wanted, anything we needed, we had. So we were okay. We were clean. We were well fed, and we went on, our family trips and everything. We just so happened to live in the projects. That was all to it. But that didn't mean that greatness wasn't inside of us. And if you look at the projects and say, oh my goodness, that's where all of the poor people live, you ought to go in some of these apartments. And I know Carol and Leslie and Joyanne, you probably can attest to this as well. Especially being here in New York City, don't let the outside of these buildings fool you. Because I can tell you for a fact, one time I was in Riverdale. In Riverdale, for those of you who are not from New York, Riverdale is an uppity place. I mean, they got $1 million homes in Riverdale. And I was doing home care, and I was a visiting nurse, and I was going around to the different homes. And I went to one of the penthouse. This was a penthouse. So not only was this one of these, luxury buildings, I went to the penthouse. And I walked into the penthouse, baby. I was ready. I said, "Ooh, I'm ready to ooh and all over this place." And that place was cluttered. Things was in disheveled. There was papers and junk and filth and furniture turned upside down. The place was in a shambles. It's in a shambles. And that was the penthouse suite. And I've been to apartments in the projects, in the tenement buildings that had glass mirrors on the wall, that had, stainless steel appliances. Like it was shining from top to bottom. So what I'm saying to you, don't judge this new situation, this new space that God is putting you in. It's still a new space. You still about to do the major evolution. You about to still do the major transformation, but the transformation may not be in the Ritz-Carlton. The transformation may not have diamond studs and dripping with oil. You might be in a different place, but that's where the press is going to happen. That's where you're going to hear God. And if you choose not to go because you think you're too good for the major, you're going to miss your elevation. You're going to miss your elevation. So that's what I wanted to tell you. I wanted to make certain I stopped by this morning to tell you that as we are, because we're still in the season of preparation and getting in position, right? So the word God has put in my spirit is about getting in position, getting in position, getting in position. And I came by to just remind you, don't be all bougie, don't be all uppity, don't have your nose all up in the air talking about, no, I can't do this because that's beneath me, and no, I can't go fellowship over there because that's beneath me. You might miss the opportunity to get in position. And I don't want anybody to miss their opportunity because this new space doesn't look like what you're accustomed to. Maybe you have to take a job that is paying you less than, but you don't have to hustle and bustle of the traffic. Hey, sis, right? So the benefits can outweigh the situation, right? So maybe you're not getting the advanced salary that you thought you were going to get, but it's going to cut down your commute time. Maybe I've worked at places, or they probably don't do this no more, but they used to give you breakfast. That was always a green light for me. But there might be some other benefits that you are yet to see. Maybe this is going to be your place of peace. So yes, you're not getting a boost in your salary where you thought, but maybe this is where you're going to find peace. Maybe the folks over here are going to leave you alone. But you're thinking, well, no, I don't want to take nothing making less than, or I don't want to take nothing equaling the same salary. Don't don't miss out on your position because of circumstantial stuff, right? So as we are getting in position, don't act like you too good to be in the major. Don't act like you too good to be in the major, because you gonna hold out for the end. The end is, there ain't no room at the end. The end is full. The end is full. But don't miss your opportunity to get in position, because in this new season, God may be, yes, God is doing something new, but it might come in a new package. And that new package may not be dripped in gold, may not be, diamond studded. Okay. So I just wanted to let y'all know that, so that way you are forewarned. You are forewarned, right? Because if Mary had said, nah, we ain't gonna do it in no major, we all might have missed out. So I'm gonna let you all go a little bit early today, because I got a 9:30 meeting, and I'm already getting my alerts going, and I gotta switch position because I do need to get out of the bed. Right today, I got to get out of the bed. But I just want you to be on high alert. If you are one of those individuals who are in a new season, a new space, a new opportunity in this moment in time, maybe you aren't there just yet. Maybe this is something that's on the horizon. Be on high alert and make certain that you don't got your nose stuck up in the air, that you're not being all bougified. Because look, your girl can be really, really bougie at times. Right, I can be super bougie at times, and I want to make certain that I am not missing it. I am not missing a blessing. I'm not missing a favor. I'm not missing the mercies. I'm not missing anything. But just keep in mind, you might have to endure something different to get different results. Amen. So you all have an abundantly blessed day today. Stay dry if you are in New York City. I know Chicago got some cold weather going on out there. Y'all stay warm out there. And if you're any other place in the world, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. As I love to see where we're at. You never know. We might take this show on the road. We might be in another place, another moment in time. You never know, right? God is like, all right, Shanika, we getting you up out of the bed. Where are we going? We might where in the world does Shaniqua inspires, right? We might be on location somewhere. But you all have a blessed day, and I will be back on the line with you tomorrow, God willing, at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so you all have a blessed day. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone.